Hi, it's Dion from Generations Building Generational Wealth, and I'm here to talk to my cosmetology professionals about money management. Are you making good money in your industry right now? That is amazing. So what's good money? Are you making at least 80,000 or above? That's considered middle class, which is good, right? You can pay your bills. If you're not making 80,000, my calendar link is below, so we could get you to at least 80,000 and above. Um, but if you're making $80,000 and I've you're making 80,000, and let's say that in the last 3 to 10 years, you've made $80,000. The question is how much of that have you saved? Because in the last 3 years, if you made 80,000, you're at about 240,000 that you made. So the question is how much of that have you saved? If you've been in the industry over 10 years and you've made at least $80,000 a year, how much of that have you saved? Because then that's 800,000. So you would have touched almost $800,000. And I did that scenario in my head. And let me just tell you a story. So for me, I come from corporate accounting industry and background, and I made pretty good money. So when I was asked that question, I thought, oh crap, I've been in the industry as an accountant over 26 years. And I didn't start off making good money, right? I started off small. And that was back in the day, I'm talking about 26 years ago, right? So I thought though, oh my goodness, I've touched over $1 million. And at the time the question was posed, I did not have a savings. I actually had 401ks that I had withdrew money from. So I didn't have that. And I thought over $1 million came through my hands and I had nothing to show for it. I thought this is crazy, right? And so I posed that question to you today because I call it fumbling the ball. And my story goes, if I knew how much money I made, on a monthly basis, I also was raising 4 kids. So, that's an excuse because literally I still had enough money to take care of my household. And I feel like the mindset regarding money, it has to be checked. Like you have to look into your mindset and your relationship when it comes to money. Because when you spend all your money and don't have anything to show for it month after month after month, at some point you have to say, wait a minute, let me make a change. Let me figure out what I can do better. And so I'm here to help you. Okay. I had a client in the cosmetology industry, and again, I knew my income, but she didn't know how much she made. And it was time to fill out an application to say what your yearly income was. And she didn't know how much she made. And although that's alarming, it's really not because money's coming in, you're paying bills. Um, but in money management, it's important to know how much you're making, how much money is going out. So we have to control the money. And so I say this with compassion because I was there. And the first advice I would have is to track your income and expenses. Because when you can track your income and expenses, now you can tap into that mindset of, wait a minute, why would I buy $800 worth of food out and then next month I don't have any money for this or that or whatever it is that you wanted money for? And kind of deal with that internally, and ask yourself why, and why are you making these decisions this way? And that's what I had to do. I literally had to say, wait a minute, do you want another 26 years to go by and say, I don't have any savings? Um, and it could be a little, when you're honest with yourself, it's a little hard. But I was able to check my mindset when it came to money and my relationship when it comes to money. And most of the time it's emotional spending. So we have to kind of figure out why, right? And get help. So I definitely recommend that, because you may not know how to stop that cycle. So I definitely recommend getting professional help. And then for my people who's not making 80, again, check my calendar, let's get together, let's get you getting some income so that you can be self-sufficient when it comes to finances. The second advice would be to know your discretionary income. What is discretionary income? Discretionary income is the amount of money left over after you've paid your expenses. So discretionary income could be calculated as a percentage, or it could just be a dollar amount. Either way, you know what it is. Because I know as a cosmetologist, it's not going to be the same. Your income is not going to be the same every time. But I would say, you know, if you were like me and don't want to keep fumbling the ball, you're going to make different decisions to get there, to do what you need to do. The third thing I would say is to set up what I call the 5 pillars of a solid financial foundation. So the first one is an emergency fund. As we know, if you don't have an emergency fund, emergencies are going to happen. I like to call it life starts lifing, because things happen in life. We don't know what's going to happen, but they do happen. And then when they happen, you have to kind of figure out where that money's going to come from. And for me, I took it from my 401k every time. And which was supposed to be for retirement. So as we go through the pillars, you'll understand. So the first one is an emergency fund. The second one is life insurance. Everybody is going to have their day to go to heaven, hopefully. And we don't know what day that's going to be. But when it does happen, we have to find money for burial, cremation, whatever the situation is. And normally it puts a strain on your family when you don't have that together for yourself. If you have kids, even more important, because now someone has to grieve your loss and take care of your kids. And financially, if they weren't barely keeping up with themselves, raising kids is not, you know, a walk in the park, nor is it cheap or inexpensive. It's very expensive. So life insurance, right? That's the second one. The third pillar is retirement. Retirement is you replacing your income in retirement. So you have to save a lot more money, which means it's going to take longer because you want to be able to save less, right, towards the retirement. I have clients who are, you know, of age, and I'm going to say of age, meaning 40 in their 50s, and they're planning for retirement. I just met with a 55-year-old who's just now starting to plan for retirement. And so now, what does that look like at 55? You only have about 20 more years to retire. So you have to put a lot more away. And most of the time, people are not making the money to put away. So that's a whole nother situation there, right? That's the third pillar. The fourth pillar is college savings. If you have kids, or, you know, or if you're like me, a grandmother, and just want to save money for your kids, maybe it's not for college. Maybe it's for a business, a car, or whatever the situation is. You want that child to be set up because you were not, right? And then the fifth one is a trust to protect that those financial investments and foundations that you put in place for yourself. So that way you have those 5 pillars as lives. You don't have to do like me and take out of your 401k. You can take out of your emergency fund, because that's what it's there for as you keep building it. You can, as you retire, you know what your income is going to be in retirement. And so my advice is to set up these 5 pillars for that financial foundation, and you have every area covered. Okay, I'm going to, if you would like an expense worksheet to help you track your income and expenses. I know as cosmetologists, you have websites where you can run reports. You can kind of look at 6 months of income. And how you do that is you look at the 6 months, you divide it into 6, and that's going to give you your average monthly income. Okay, so then now you kind of have an average. And then we know some months during the holidays are going to be more. So it's important to kind of average that out the best you can as far as what months you pick. So that's it for today. If you need any help, I'm going to put my website below, also my calendar, so you can reach out. But that's it for today. Have an amazing day, and see you soon in the next video.